peeps, we are back. Happy Saturday. I'm back with another story time that I hope you guys will be able to, as Kevin Hart says, laugh at my pain. Okay, so you guys know from the last video that I'm trying my best to, one, make sure that my ring light doesn't reflect into my eyes, and I think that I have finally fixed it. Let's hope. Number two, I guess I'll start off with a funny story before I get into the pain. Okay, so as the title described, this was the first and last time as an adult that my dad really let me have it. I was in my early 20s, and I'm not going to use any names or anything because I don't want anybody to get mad at me or anything like that, but okay, so I was in my 20s and I was visiting my dad, and we were all getting dressed. We were, getting ready to go to a comedy show. And one particular lady who I really care a lot about was having some issues and asked if I could help her get into her girdle. It was a rough task. It took a lot. There's a lot of adjusting, a lot of pulling, a lot of stretching. It takes time, okay? It took at least 20 minutes trying to work this lady into this girdle, And then she got dressed, she put her dress on and everything, and she asked me how she looked. And I said, "Oh, you look great, you look great." So when my dad stops by to pick us up, he says, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second, honey?" I said, "Sure, Dad." I said, "Okay, sure, Dad, sure. And I said, "What's up?" And he said, "Let me ask you something." I said, "Sure." He said, "Did she ask you how she looked when she got ready?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "And what did you say?" And I said, I said, "She looks great." And he said, "Really? You know what? I raised you to be an honest person. I raised you to tell the truth." He said, "I can't believe you have this woman looking like this. She looks ridiculous. And you just let her come out of the house like this?" He said, "She is about to go out in public looking ridiculous." And I was so taken aback. My dad has never yelled at me, ever. And here I am, I'm like 21 or 22, and I'm shrinking. I am folding in on myself because I said, oh my God, he's angry. And what did I do? And I'm like, oh, and I felt terrible because it wasn't a lie. I mean, she didn't look that great, but it had taken us like 25 minutes to get her in that girdle. And I don't like to be hurtful. When somebody says, "How do I look?" I just say, "You look great." Well, I don't anymore. We went to the comedy show, and the comedian picked on her all night long for her dress and everything. And oh my God, all night my dad kept giving me the evil eye, and I just felt horrible. And let me just tell you that I will never, ever again, when somebody asks me how do they look, I will be honest. I will be 100% honest. I mean, when we got back home, my dad couldn't throw me out of that car fast enough. He was ticked. And I said, "Oh, Dad, got it." I mean, I felt bad because she was picked on the whole night from the comedian, but it really stung when my dad yelled at me and said that he raised me better than that. And I realized he did raise me better than that. Why did I do that? Why didn't I just tell her, "Honey, no, that dress is not it"? And yeah, my advice: when somebody asks you how they look, just tell the truth. If they don't look great, if you're getting that steel magnolia feel, you know what I mean, right?
$1 for that dress and don't even bother to wear a girdle.
Looks like two pigs fighting under a blanket.
Well, now you do. I'm just saying, if you're getting that, just tell them this isn't gonna work, okay? Anyway, funny now. But then I felt terrible. My dad, oh my God, I love you so much, Dad. If you watch this video, I love you. And you taught me a lesson. You did teach me to be honest, and I am sorry that I wasn't. And for the lady, you know I love you, girl. I really do, and I'm sorry because I was young. Shoot. Anyway, we're going to move on. So, my last video, I talked to you guys a little bit about Eric. That's what we're calling him. That's not his real name, but we're going to keep it going as Eric because I am sure that him and the other guy that we'll be talking about later watch my videos. I'm not going to say your name. Know that, okay? Okay, so these stories about him are not going to be in any kind of order. They just, when they pop in my head, that's when I'm going to give it. So this one was quite ridiculous, but it happened. So I got a call from Eric and he asked me, you know, if I could come over, and I said, sure. So I get to his house and I walk in and he's on the phone. But as soon as I get into the house, he hangs up. And I said, that is not good. Why did he hang up so fast? Who was he on the phone with? It just automatically, you know, triggered my thoughts. And I asked, and of course he had an excuse. You know, he was talking to one of his friends and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, Anyway, as time goes on, things happen. Okay. I'm just going to say things happen. And then people fall asleep, you know? So anyway, I'm asleep. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, I open my eyes and there's somebody staring at me. And I'm looking at this woman and I'm like, excuse me, who the hell are you? Okay.
Papa! Who's this woman?
Who is this woman? Okay. And I say it out loud. Excuse me, who are you? And she's looking at me, rolling her neck like, who the F are you? And this dude wakes up and says nothing. Just gets up and goes to the restroom. And this girl goes running after him, screaming and hollering. And all of a sudden, I'm this bitch. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, I am every bitch that could be imagined. Okay? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what world am I in? What is happening? And let me say this. At this point, I'm about 6 months pregnant. Okay? 6 months pregnant. And I hear this girl screaming and hollering. She wants to know who I am and why I'm here and all this other stuff. And I'm looking at her and she's looking like she's about 6 months pregnant. And I say to her, I said, are you pregnant? And she says, no. And I said, well, you looking. I mean, I can say that because she had just called me a bitch. You know what I mean? She didn't say it to my face, but she said it to him and I heard. So I'm just sitting here like, this cannot be happening. The next thing you know, I just keep hearing more screaming and hollering. So I go to find out, you know, I want to know the same thing. She wants to know who I am. I want to know who she is. And then I hear her say to him, you hung up too fast. And I said, oh. When I came in, he hung up the phone and I wondered who was that on the phone. When he hung up so fast, because I was there, she wondered who's there. Why did he hang up so quick? And she decided to come over. The next thing I know, we're all standing in front of his sliding glass doors. He had a set of double sliding doors. So it was 4 window panes. Honey, listen, this argument got crazy. And let me tell you, there was chairs close to the door, and I can't really say who did it, but all I can say is several of those glass windows were broken. Okay? People were pissed. I was pissed. She was pissed. What are you talking about? We're both dating him? Come to find out, I, who worked for an insurance company, while I was at work during the day, she was at his house. While she was at work at night, I was at his house. Both of us were dating this guy, and I'm 6 months pregnant. Let me tell you this, when the chairs went to flying and the glass started to shattering, this dude goes running to his room. And his uncle, who comes over, he says, his gun is upstairs. Oh, we hauled ass. When I tell you I hauled ass, let me just say I hauled ass. I said, wait a minute now. I am not trying to get murdered because somebody broke those patio doors. I'm just saying. Oh my God. What? Let me just say this. Honey, listen. I was on one, okay? The whole drive home, I'm thinking, did he really just do that? I mean, I'm 6 months pregnant. You're dating this girl. And she's at your house every day while I'm at work. And I'm at your house at nights when she's at work. What? I mean, this guy is a complete idiot. I remember being so upset by this that I ended up taking some time off work to go spend time with my grandma because I knew I could tell her everything that was happening. And I knew that she wouldn't judge me for being stupid. And the whole time that I was seeing my grandma, he was calling and texting and begging me to forgive him and trying to convince me that she was lying. And I know that she wasn't. I know that he was really dating both of us and he was really lying. And it was jacked up. And I took him back. After all of that, I took him back because I thought what we had was real. I thought it was real love. I thought that we were meant to be together and that we were going to be, having a family together. And none of that was true. I don't know what I was thinking. I really don't. But that's not even all of it. Okay, so later, I was about 8 months pregnant and he asked me to give him a ride to the hospital. And I said, well, why do you need a ride to the hospital? And he says that his cousin was giving birth. And, he wanted to go see her and her husband and, see the baby. And I said, okay. So I dropped him off at the hospital. But the whole time I was feeling sort of weird about it. My antennas went up and I thought, this is odd. If your cousin is having a baby, wouldn't you want to give them some time, as a family before you just show up at the hospital? This woman just gave birth and you're not her daddy, you're the cousin. You know what I mean? Well, I found out years later that my antennas work. What it was there was another lady that was pregnant and her baby was due a month before my son. And I dropped him off at the hospital to see his baby born. Now, when my son was delivered, he never showed up. Never showed up. And I was devastated. I'm thinking, I've known you since the 10th grade. I've been your girlfriend on and off for all of these years. And you wouldn't show up for the birth of our son. But then years later, I find out that I dropped you off so that you could be there for the birth of your child with another woman who was not the woman who may have possibly been a part of the glass breaking. Nobody is gonna know. I didn't even say her name. I don't know what am I doing trying to protect her? Anyway, she didn't know about me and I didn't know about her, so it's not her fault. I don't blame this girl at all. I blame him and I blame myself. I blame myself for being stupid and continuing to believe that this guy truly loved me and staying with him. He was absolutely not that into me. Clearly. And that's just some of it. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta stay tuned. I mean, this guy takes the cake. We've gone through so many crazy things. You would just not believe the crap. But wait till we get to Aaron. When we work our way to Aaron, that's when everybody is just gonna drop. That's when you guys are really just gonna say, Pia, what the hell is wrong with you, girl? Is your light bulb on? Let me just tell you, it wasn't. But my light bulb is on now, and I know what I would never deal with now. as a grown woman who has raised her child. My son is 19 years old now. There is no way that some idiot is about to pull these games with me now. I'm too grown for this. But oh gosh. Wait till you find out about Aaron. I think Aaron was the love of my life until he married somebody behind my back and continued to date me. That's all I'm going to say. And until next time, bye.